Most people think happiness comes from having more money, more success, more attention, or a perfect life. But the truth is much darker. Some of the richest people cannot sleep peacefully at night, while some poor people laugh with a full heart. Every day, millions of people wake up stressed, tired, jealous, and emotionally empty. They smile outside but feel broken inside. They keep chasing happiness like it is hiding somewhere far away. But no matter how much they achieve, their heart still feels incomplete. Maybe you also feel this sometimes. Maybe your mind is always busy. Maybe you compare yourself with others. Maybe you feel like life is unfair. And maybe deep inside, you are still waiting for one big moment that will finally make you happy. My name is Ian, and this story may completely change the way you understand happiness. This is the story of a young boy named Ethan and an old man who carried a secret that changed an entire village. In a quiet village surrounded by mountains and rivers, there lived a boy named Ethan. He was 18 years old, intelligent, hard-working, and full of dreams. But despite all that, he was never happy. Every morning he complained about something. If the weather was hot, he became angry. If someone else bought new clothes, he felt jealous. If another person succeeded, he felt like a failure. Even while eating dinner with his family, his mind stayed busy thinking about the life he wished he had. His mother once asked him, "Why are you always unhappy?" Ethan replied, "Because life gave me less than others." Near the edge of the village lived an old man named Mr. Elijah. He was known as the wisest man in the area. People often visited him for advice because, no matter how difficult life became, his face always carried peace. One evening, Ethan saw Mr. Elijah sitting near an old tree quietly watching the sunset. Ethan walked toward him and said, "Everyone says you are wise, so tell me honestly, what is the secret of happiness?" The old man looked at him carefully but did not answer immediately. Instead, he asked, "Do you really want the truth?" "Yes," Ethan replied quickly. Mr. Elijah stood up slowly and said, "Then come with me tomorrow morning before sunrise." The next morning, Ethan followed the old man deep into the forest behind the village. After walking for almost an hour, they reached a strange place. In the middle of the forest stood two wooden cages. Inside the first cage was a golden bird with beautiful shining feathers. Its cage was large, expensive, and decorated with jewels. Food and water were placed perfectly inside. Inside the second cage was a small gray bird. Its cage looked old and broken. There was no decoration at all. But something strange shocked Ethan. The golden bird looked weak and silent. The gray bird was singing happily. Ethan frowned. "That makes no sense." Mr. Elijah asked, "Which bird looks happier?" "The gray one," Ethan answered immediately. "Why?" Ethan looked carefully and said, "Because it is singing." The old man nodded slowly. Then he walked toward the golden bird and said, "This bird was once captured by a rich king. The king gave it everything: comfort, luxury, safety, expensive food. But the bird lost the sky." Then he pointed toward the gray bird. "This one escaped from a storm and survives many difficult winters. Its cage is poor, but every morning it still sings because it remembers freedom." Ethan stayed silent. Mr. Elijah looked directly into his eyes and said, "Most people are like the golden bird. They have comfort but no peace. They own things but cannot enjoy life. They spend years chasing bigger cages without realizing they lost their freedom inside." Those words hit Ethan deeply. But the old man was not finished yet. He took Ethan further into the forest until they reached a river. The water was flowing strongly between the rocks. Mr. Elijah picked up 2 dry pieces of wood and threw them into the river. The first piece fought against the water. It hit rocks, turned violently, and became stuck between stones. The second piece simply flowed with the river, slowly, peacefully, naturally. "Do you understand?" the old man asked. Ethan shook his head. Mr. Elijah said, "Human beings suffer because they try to control everything. They fight every small problem. They resist change. They become angry when life does not follow their plans. But happiness comes when you learn what to control and what to let flow." Ethan looked at the river quietly. For the first time, he realized his own mind was always fighting a reality. If something small went wrong, he ruined his entire day. If someone succeeded, he felt attacked. If life became difficult, he immediately believed life was unfair. The old man then sat beside the river and continued speaking. "Listen carefully, Ethan. Happiness is not excitement. Most people confuse these 2 things." Ethan listened silently. Excitement disappears quickly. New phones become old. New clothes lose value. Attention fades. Money creates bigger desires. But peace stays longer. And peace is built through gratitude, purpose, simple living, and control over your thoughts. Then Mr. Elijah pulled out a small mirror from his pocket and handed it to Ethan. "What do you see?" he asked. "Myself." The old man nodded. "Exactly. Most people search for happiness everywhere except inside themselves." Those words stayed inside Ethan's mind for days. Slowly he started changing. He stopped comparing his life with others every second. He spent more time with his family. He started helping people in the village without expecting anything back. He learned to enjoy simple moments: rain falling on rooftops, conversations with his mother, quiet evenings near the river. And strangely, the less he chased happiness, the more peaceful he became. Months later, a wealthy traveler visited the village. He wore expensive clothes and owned many businesses. Everyone admired him. But during dinner, the traveler admitted something shocking. "I have spent my entire life chasing success," he said quietly. "And now I realize I forgot how to enjoy life." That night, Ethan finally understood the old man completely. The world teaches people to collect things, but almost nobody teaches people how to protect their peace. Years later, Ethan became one of the wisest men in the village. Young people often came to him asking the same question he once asked Mr. Elijah: "What is the secret of happiness?" And Ethan always answered with the same lesson: happiness begins the moment you stop building your life around comparison, control, and endless desire.